is Bunna Banter with Fev and Zodu. I've got 2 guests with me. We're going to have a good chat, we're going to have good banter, and then, of course, some good bunna. So as I pour my bunna, I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves, your names, your age, what you do.
So I'm Grace, and this is my sister, and I'm 20 years old. I'm currently studying, going into my 2nd year at UCL, studying politics and international relations. I was born here, but both of our parents are Ethiopian.
I'm Isabel. I'm 21. I study at uni in York. I'm graduating soon. I have a couple of months left until I graduate. And yeah, born in Leeds. Basically what I'm born in Grace. Yeah.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about like your childhood, growing up in the UK as an Ethiopian. Just a little bit about like your upbringing and how that was.
Yeah, so we were born here in Leeds, in the centre of Leeds, so it's quite diverse, I think. But I don't remember much of like before we moved out towards like the suburbs, which was more sort of very white area. So I guess that sort of affected our upbringing a little bit. Maybe.
How old were you when you?
How old were we?
It must have been like a year old, maybe less than that.
Oh, that's pretty young.
Yeah, maybe like a year old.
Yeah, very young. So I think that definitely like shaped us into who we are. But we're always sort of connected to our Ethiopian side through our parents and our close family. And we grew up speaking Amharic.
When your parents were raising you, do you feel like they raised you more Ethiopian, more British, or was it quite of a mix? Do you feel like?
I think it's hard to sort of tell because we grew up in that environment, but I think a mix. Also, we have a godmother who is British. We just sort of had like a mix of culture, I guess, growing up, but I think more so Ethiopian, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like go to like Habesha events?
Yeah, we did quite often, really.
Definitely, yeah. Like, you know how, like, my dad's, like, involved with Ethiopian.
Yeah, that's quite...
Yeah. So I think when we were younger, definitely, we were surrounded by loads of Habesha people and also church. Like, we also went to church a lot, like the Habesha churches.
So I'm assuming you went to, like, a heavily white-dominant schools. And how was that for you guys? Because I went to, like, quite a diverse school where...
Did you?
Yeah, I went to a diverse school where there was majority ethnic people compared to white people.
That's amazing.
So when I went to college, it was more white dominant. So it'd be like, I'm from Ethiopia, and they'd be like, what's that? Where's that?
Stop.
Yeah.
That's like the opposite for me.
Was it?
Yeah, like in school, it wasn't so diverse. But when I went to sixth form college, Notre Dame.
Oh, you went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was a lot more diverse.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We went to the same primary school.
Yeah.
And that was very like white working class.
Okay.
So there was a couple different like cultures, different people we met, but most of it was predominantly white. So literally, like no one knew anything about Ethiopia or even to see a black person. Really. Yeah. I think I was the only black person in my year. Yeah, it was. But then we sort of diverged. So I went to a different high school than my sister. You went to Tally Grange and I went to GCEL. And I think it was like a culture shock, both in the fact that I went from quite a working class area to quite like a middle class area. Yeah. So it was like the attitudes towards like race and culture. It's like it's different in those communities, even though it's both white. And so yeah, it was quite a strange experience for me. So I've always tried to connect though more with your Ethiopian culture, and your culture, because I think that's what kept me sane throughout it all.
Have you ever had the can I touch your hair?
Oh, definitely. Even sometimes I just play into it, and like, you know, like box braids when you got extensions, or like in high school they'd be like, so where does your hair start? and they're like, how often do you redo it? I'm like, every night, you know. So it was, I don't know, I kind of just played into it. I didn't really care at that point, you know.
What about for your parents? Do you feel like it was difficult for them to understand like where you were coming from, or did you have any like misunderstanding between the two of you, or were they quite on board with it?
I think we definitely had a lot of conflicts growing up, definitely. But I think like over time, like they've just grown to understand that it's just two different, cultures, and like sort of mesh them together and be more understanding, which I'm really grateful for actually. But definitely growing up, because we were children ourselves, we didn't really understand what's going on really.
The reason I say that is because a lot of the time, I think you are privileged and you're lucky that your parents have that level of understanding.
Definitely.
But a lot of Habesha parents that come from Ethiopia, they want to raise their children how they were raised back at home, and it creates a lot of conflict within the household. That's why I say that you are like lucky that your parents had the understanding, but not all Habesha kids have that dynamic with their parents and their families.
Definitely. I think we're very privileged in that sense.
And even other cultures, like for example, I'm just trying to think of like a British culture that we do here that's quite abnormal in the Habesha community.
Halloween.
Yeah, like Halloween. And it's like, no, that's it. And that's the devil's celebration.
I know.
But it's like, so did your parents ever like let you celebrate Halloween and let you explore it and see?
So I feel like, I mean, not particularly, I don't think. But I remember when I was younger, like, there'd be, like, parties. And, like, my mum doesn't want me to be, like, completely excluded from, like, my friends and stuff. So I was allowed... I remember one time I went to, like, one party, a Halloween party. Like, I think, it's draws a line somewhere. Yeah. But, like, she understands that, it's part of the culture. And it's just sort of, like, a social thing. Like, I'm not... worshipping the devil at the end of the day. It's just a Halloween party. But
at the same time, we weren't allowed to go trick-or-treating.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that.
Did you guys question it? Like, why we're not allowed to do this when all our friends are?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was quite, like, pushy as a child.
I think...
Was Isabel more like, okay, I'll take it. If she said mum says no, then it's no.
Yeah, I was kind of like just, like, not really...
Adamant.
Yeah.
And I think I was very pushy, and I think it was good that my mum, she created those boundaries, but also let me have some sort of freedom, because I wasn't very rebellious. Like, I wouldn't do anything without telling her.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important for parents to not be so strict that your child won't tell you what they're doing. And so, I was very sensible, but then again, I was like, come on, I need to go with my friends. I just want like a bag of sweets, basically.
Yeah. Do you think that it helped that you lived in a white dominant area? Do you think your parents allowed a lot more things because they kind of like saw it in the environment that you were in?
So. They weren't like surrounded by other Habesha people.
Yeah.
I would tell them, no, don't let your kids do this, because I feel like maybe our mum would be like more
get influenced,
to be more strict, and I think it was sort of forced them to be more sort of like, I guess, open to other things, which I think sort of helped. And also they wanted to like integrate as well. Okay.
They were more open to it.
They wanted to, yeah, definitely. I just feel like they wanted to share our culture but also understand the British culture, I guess.
What about like having injera and stuff? Was that something you had regularly at home?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Our mum owned an Ethiopian restaurant. I think it was the first Ethiopian restaurant in Leeds.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
No way. It was called Mercato. Like, your dad will know about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like, she makes the best Ethiopian food.
Wow.
And we eat Ethiopian food quite often. Like in Jaya, like how often do we eat it? I mean, our parents eat it. That's one thing. Our parents eat it quite often.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mum likes to give us like a variety of food. I don't know, maybe we were picky when we were younger.
Yeah, I think it's always been like that, where we might eat injera a couple times a week, but we'd also eat
other stuff.
Yeah.
And you like gunfo?
Yeah, what's your favourite Habesha food?
Ooh.
Let's do breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
Breakfast meal and then lunch.
I definitely like gunfo or pulla. I don't want to like offend people who love eating meat, but I love vegetarian food.
Okay, that's fine.
Shiro.
You like a lot of vegetarian food. For me, I like chipsa.
Okay.
I love it. I had it this morning actually. And I love katfo.
You guys have raw meat?
Yeah.
Raw meat?
How do you like it?
Yeah, I love kutfor. I think that's my favourite.
Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? I don't really like beef apart from kutfor. Like, I don't really like cooked beef.
Do you have it raw? The kutfor? Or do you have it lebalab?
But when I say lebalab, like, it's still raw.
Okay.
Like, it's just tinish, just a little bit of heat. My mum does that, I think, to make us feel better. But yeah, kutfor, dorowet. I think I like everything. I can't lie. I don't know. What about you?
I think my favourite is kutfor. Have you ever had just raw meat? You know, when they just dip it in the meat and they
I don't know what it's called, but it's like the cubed beef.
Yeah.
And then it's like in some sort of like...
It's marinated with like...
something.
Kiwi and stuff like that.
I had that recently actually for the first time. And that was good, but I prefer kutfor.
Yeah.
Do you like
a little bit more seasoning in kutfor?
Yeah. You don't... Have you had raw?
No.
And so what this restaurant that your mum had, do you guys remember it being open? Was it before you were born?
I think it was after we were born.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And when did it close?
Like 2012.
Yeah, so
she had it for quite a long time.
Yeah. It was like so like in the city centre, there was the Marion Centre. The Marion Centre. They built a pure gym. It used to be like a food market. So they have the Marion Centre as like a shop. Yeah. And I think it was like a food
court kind of thing.
Yeah. And so we had the restaurant. There was I think Habesha barbers or hairdressers across from us. There was a sandwich shop next to us. I remember it. I remember playing with my scooter like in the different, and I remember it quite well, I think. And they used to play Ethiopian jazz, which now I listen to Ethiopian jazz, it just makes me think about my childhood. Like, Tis the Tab, and it's like a happy memory of my childhood. It's kind of foggy though.
Yeah.
I just really loved it, and I was really sad when it closed down. Yeah. I was really gutted about that.
And like we're like family friends, and your dad would be like, let's go to Blackpool, let's go on the beach, let's do this. And he was very like active and adventurous. We always had a good time.
I know. He still is very active. Like he's just got a lot of energy. Like he just likes to sit still. But like Blackpool and like go to the beaches. We go like to like the Lake District and Yorkshire Dales and like even like the Scottish Highlands road trips. We did a lot of cycling and swimming. My dad loved to take us swimming. So we're very active as children, actually.
He's a very active person. Like, he loves to exercise and like go on runs and like cycle. So we were always outdoors. Really good memories.
What's like a core memory that you have from like your childhood?
I remember we did like a family trip to like this coastal town in Spain, and I remember like I used to just wake up before everyone and just go into the pool and swim. And I used to eat a lot of watermelon during that time. I don't know. But that was really, we were quite young then. And it was like before, you just sort of feel free. Like 9 years, was I 9 or something?
You were 9.
I feel like we were at the age where it was like, you just feel free, like no societal constraints.
Exactly.
And, we just had fun in the sun.
I remember going to France. Must have been like in 2011, so I don't remember much of it. But I definitely do remember having a good time. We went to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And we went to Disneyland Paris. Just remember just really enjoying myself.
I forgot to mention that you guys actually have a brother as well. Not just these two.
We have an older brother. We have an older brother who was actually born in Ethiopia. And came here.
So he has a different experience compared to you two.
Definitely. He grew up in Addis Ababa near Mercato.
Very like...
Yeah, he was in it. And so,
Does he tell you like stories of how it was growing up back home?
Yeah. You remember, like, he told us about Guillaume. Do you remember his, like, swim story?
Oh, the hotel?
Yeah.
Everyone used to go there for swimming, apparently.
Right? I don't know.
That's the only pool there.
Geothermal? Do you know if it's geothermal? My dad said something about that. But, like, everyone loves it. I went recently. It was quite quiet. It was really sad.
So So you're Amharic, are you like, would you say that you can fully understand and respond?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
well done.
Amharic, but I think my accent's a bit off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But like conversational Amharic I can do. I'm trying to learn more. I'm listening to a lot more news because I want to learn like the political language.
Okay.
Because when I listen to the news, it goes through one ear and out the other. And so I think that side of Amharic, like the academic side and stuff, I want to learn more. But we're good at like conversational Amharic.
Yeah, I'd say that I definitely understand Amharic more than I can speak Amharic. But yeah, I think as I've been getting older, my Amharic's improved.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about like your sisterhood dynamic, like growing up. What is it like having a sister that's so close in age?
So
I wouldn't know, me and my sister like years apart. So
well, it was a bit rough for us actually at the beginning of growing up. I think we clashed a lot, didn't we, Isabel?
Do you have like really two different personalities?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay.
We had to share a room for like most of our lives, and we only stopped sharing like, I think I was probably like 11 or 12. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe around that age.
Yeah. So like, I think that's where most of it came from. Like, we just sort of clash and like need our own space. But as we've grown up, like we've come closer and closer because we've just grown out of that, I guess.
Yeah.
And also we have our own space so we can cool off, come back together. Yeah. But now we're like very close, and I think it's really good to have somebody that you can confide in. Yeah. That sort of understands where you're coming from.
Should we play a little game to see your sister dynamic?
Oh gosh, oh no. Come on.
Right, who's the loud one?
You think the loud one?
Honestly, it could be both.
It could be both.
Really?
I thought you were going to say me.
Yeah, I mean, like out in public, maybe it's you, but like
you should like
at home, it's
a lot more comfortable.
It takes a while for you to like.
It takes a while, but she's got a massive personality. But yeah, I think definitely out in public, probably me. But at home, like it's a mix of us both.
What's the habit that your sister has that drives you mad?
Oh gosh, I can't pick. Oh my god, she spends so long in the shower. No. She's been quite good actually recently. But we used to like fight all the time, like because we used to have one bathroom. Yeah. Now we have one downstairs. Okay, but we used to have one bathroom, and she'd spend like hours showering or something, and then I would need the bathroom. I need to pee, so like it would bring me to tears. Actually, I'd be so mad. But she'd be like, because she likes everything like very clean, so she has to clean, and I'd need to pee.
She just wouldn't get out.
No. So that's one thing, I think. What about you for me?
I'd say you might disagree, but I think you're a little bit more messy than me.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay. Have you ever had like a big fallout or like a big argument?
I think we have like arguments.
Yeah, it was very frequent.
But I think we just get over them actually.
Yeah.
And we had a big like massive fallout. They all seemed quite big at the time, but then
I know, yeah.
Who's more emotional?
Again, I feel like it's both of us.
I think we're quite, I think we're both very emotional people, but I think I internalise it a lot.
Okay.
I don't like to show my emotions that much, but when I do, it's quite a lot, I think. What about you, Isabel? What do you think?
Probably express it more than you do.
Yeah.
But we still feel
the same level of emotional needs.
Just emotional people, I don't know.
What's one thing that you admire about each other?
You're very brave.
Okay.
When something difficult happens to you, compared to how maybe I would like manage a difficult situation. Yeah. I think that makes her very brave.
Oh, thank thank you. That's so nice. For you, I just think you're just so like genuine, like you're very honest and you're very giving as well. You're very generous, but she's just so like honest. Like I can always trust Isabel to tell me what's what. Like she'll tell me the truth, and I just admire that because you don't lie. Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Something that you've never told each other, but you want them to know now.
Oh gosh, what have I hidden from you? Oh, I have something to tell you.
Oh no.
Remember the thing about the remote control? I think Sammy had the remote control when you were in York. Basically, she had a TV in her room, and she liked her room really neat. We have a TV. She has a TV in her room, and she likes to keep her room really neat. But there's a TV downstairs, but our dad likes to go in her room to watch like football and stuff. But she doesn't like it, so she gave the TV remote control to my mum.
Oh, to like hide it from him.
Yeah, but I think she gave it to him when she was in York. Sorry, Isabel. It's okay. I'll make sure it never happens again.
Let's talk about your trip to Ethiopia. Because when she told me this, I was like, what?
Yeah, so...
Do you want to tell them what you did?
Yeah. So I went to Addis Ababa. I stayed in Summit, if you know that area, and I was teaching English at primary schools in Ethiopia, which was an amazing experience, and I love teaching. It was so fun, and the kids were so lovely and excited to learn, and it was the best experience of my life.
Tell us how it all began, how did you think of going? Who organised it for you to teach at the school? Why teaching? Why that form of experience?
So I took a gap year straight after my A-levels because it was so stressful, and A-levels are just so bad. So I was like, I need a break before university. I was like, I do want to go to Ethiopia. I want to do some traveling and volunteering.
Okay.
And because I've had experience volunteering with children, I've had experience with mental health work with children in the UK and also teaching. We have a family that have a school in Ethiopia, and so I was like, maybe they'll let me. Let me just give them my CV, just please. I'll work for free. I just want to gain some experience. And so I organised.
Was the plan always Ethiopia, or were you willing to volunteer anywhere? It didn't matter.
I think because I was quite young at the time, I just wanted to be around somewhat my family. Okay. Also, I just loved Ethiopia and I just wanted to go back. So I think it was Ethiopia, but also I was going to travel other countries as well. But the volunteering made sense in Ethiopia. Also because I know the language. But even when I was teaching, they wouldn't let me speak English. Amharic. They said, don't let the children know you can speak Amharic. They said, make sure that you only speak English. And so, I went and I spoke to the directors of the school, and they told me, this is what you need to do. Work with the teachers.
Did you go by yourself?
I went by myself. And I stayed for a bit, and then my dad came for 2 weeks, I think it was, which was really good because I didn't have access to a car or anything. Or you're not really supposed to go in taxis by yourself, my mum told me. So when my dad was there, we travelled a lot around Addis Ababa, really. And I think we went to Deborah Zayt as well. I started by visiting the schools and seeing what's going on. They gave me the teacher uniform, which is a lab coat. It's a big one. It's a lab coat.
All teachers wear that, and doctors.
Really? That was so funny. But I got the lab coat, and I started planning my lessons, and I have a big like tablet thing that I used for my A-levels to handwrite. So that was really helpful actually. So I planned all my lessons on there. And then I basically started work immediately. Like,
wait, so did you not have like, did you have like teachers to sit in and watch what you were doing, or was it like here's a class, deal with them?
No, definitely there was teachers that were there. So at first I sort of like came in and I introduced myself, and it was a lot of classes. Like I feel like 30 classes a day. Like I just went in for like 10 minutes. I'd be like, hi.
Oh, you went around the whole school, or
schools plural, like the whole school, like the primary school, those classes, plus like, they had like multiple primary schools. So like the first week or so, I went into every class, well not every class, but like the classes I was supposed to teach, and introduced myself, and then did like a quick English language lesson.
Okay.
And they were just like in awe. First of all, I'm really tall, and all the teachers were really short, and also the kids were really short. So I'm like, what is this giant doing in our class? And then I spoke, and I think my accent,
it's different.
It was different.
Because I think they learned that they're more familiar with the American accent, not the British accent.
The American accent, but I think they write in the British English.
Oh, did they? Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think like the schooling's quite British, but they speak in an American accent. So yeah, it was.
How old were they, the kids that you taught?
So primary school, like age like 4 to 10. They gave me sort of like the curriculum. It was quite hard because there was a lot of classes, so I wanted to give as much as I could to every single class. But I wish, I had more time to like, and I think they would benefit from having more volunteers, I think. Because I think it engaged the kids a lot. I remember I was in Hawassa. Was it Hawassa? No, it was Debrezi. And I was like with my cousins in a restaurant, and this little kid just ran up to me and hugged my legs. And she was like, Miss Grace.
She remembered you.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And so it was just so rewarding because they were very happy to learn, very engaged. And
So how many days a week did you teach?
It was like, I think I had one day off a week, so I think it was like Monday to Thursday. I think there's one time I had like a lesson where like there was kids misbehaving, just not listening to me. But they have like teacher assistants in the rooms most of the time. So I think because they're there, they sort of behave more. I'm also quite a pushover. So I try and keep the kids, obedient by being nice to them, like give them respect and they'll give you respect back. Did
you notice any difference from like classrooms here and then back home? What differences did you notice?
I mean, at first, like I think the high school have whiteboards, like interactive whiteboards, but I was teaching on a blackboard. So it was just hard to actually get used to. Like it takes, you wouldn't think it affects lessons, but it takes so much more time to write on a blackboard than even like the ones with the marker. Like it just takes more time because of the friction. Like that makes such a big difference. Like maybe adds like a couple more minutes onto your class. It just showed me how like useful technology was for me learning here. To be fair, when I was in primary school I didn't have much access to technology. It was like paper and books, but like I'd use my tablet because it's quite big to teach more in the lesson. But
the kids more disciplined there compared to here.
I think so, definitely. Much more disciplined, actually.
And how was it during like lunch times? Like would you sit with other teachers, have lunch together, have bunna? Like how was it? That aspect?
Like the staff rooms were so good. Like they were, I love the teachers there, and they'd want to learn more. Like they're like how can you help, sort of thing. And it was like a really lovely environment to be in. And we'd have like shy and what do you call that thing? The fried bread.
Pastini,
something like that. I'd have that. It was so good. And shy, and the shy's so sweet.
I know, it is nice, isn't it?
It's so sweet. So now when I came back, I like to add more sugar into my tea. But it's just such a nice environment. Like the kids love running up to you and hugging you. Which is quite nice.
So cute.
They're so cute.
Do you have any like funny classroom stories?
Oh my gosh, I have the funniest classroom story. So it was when I first walked in, And the teacher that I used to spend most of my time with, she's very, very short.
Okay.
So I'm really tall next to her. And I walked into the classroom. And this child looked at me and went, "By Jesus Christus." I was like, "Oh. By Jesus Christus." I don't know, like maybe 5 years old. Oh God, it was so funny hearing her talk like that. Wow. And also, they didn't think I could speak Amharic. So then they'd say something, and then like if it's something really cheeky, then I'd respond to them in Amharic, and like, "What? Okay. You know Amharic?" Maybe. But yeah.
How would you say the level of education they get was quite good? Or did you see like a gap?
I think that, I don't know about for all Ethiopian schools, but I think, to be fair, like I only taught English. And when we learn languages in this country, it's not to the extent that other countries learn English. Like the English is quite good. Compared to the way we learn foreign languages. They take it much more seriously there. Definitely think there could be more work done. Even like the standardized like textbooks or curriculum or something, like I had a look at it and like some bits were just not correct. Even like the actual English language like learning material wasn't even correct English language. But I think it's quite, definitely much better than the way we learn foreign languages. So I was really impressed with the kids.
What was like your biggest adjustment that you had to make when you went to Ethiopia? Just living there.
The Bimbis. The Bimbis, oh my gosh. They love me, first of all. The Bimbis love my blood. Like, they will seek me out. Like, I literally wrap myself in a blanket and they literally crawl underneath and bite me. And also, I think I'm allergic to the bites. And I used to get bites, like, on my face and turn really big. So what I had to do, and I have, like, sensory issues, which is really bad, but I had to basically, like, coat my face in like Vaseline and like
that's what this is
Sudocreme every night, otherwise the Bimbis would literally eat me alive. It was crazy.
It's the worst getting bit by a Bimbi. It's so itchy, it's painful, right?
I remember like when I was very young, I went to Ethiopia and I ended up with like, I counted them like 130 bites. 130 bites. Like, oh my gosh, the Bimbis are so
nice. They love you.
Right? So that's why I like living in this country. There's no mosquitoes as far as I'm aware. I remember there was no hot water for actually days. So I'd have to like do it with a bucket of like you like
heat the water up in a pan,
and then like put it in them and that, and also the lights would go off. And I remember like I brought pesto from England and I had it in the fridge and I forgot like the fridge went off and then I opened it, it was like moldy. I was like, oh my gosh. It was a good experience, It teaches me not to get too comfortable.
So who took you from school to home every time?
So my auntie, she works there also. So she would take me, or sometimes they have the drivers, like the school drivers. I just love the culture. It's just so like friendly, like everyone talks. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in London now, but I just crave that. Like everyone's just so, and everyone looks out for you. Like I remember I was just like walking in between school and like my shirt was like, something was wrong with like untucked or tucked or something, and she was like, "Natty, your shirt." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." Just like someone like ran and I was like, and it's just, I love the culture in Ethiopia.
What would you say is like the biggest thing that you've learned from this experience?
Just the value of different people's experiences that are different to your own, and not just being, ignorant to it. Like different religions in Ethiopia, and I think I'm more appreciative of that. Just learning about difference in opinion. Like I definitely had difference of opinion to many people in Ethiopia, but it's just like even here, but it's just like not just fobbing it off and like really understanding and just being in community, really.
Would you advise other Ethiopian youth to do something similar, like the diaspora?
Oh, definitely. Like that's just one of my things is like, I love the diaspora reconnecting with back home, because I feel like a lot of the time people just leave Ethiopia, they start working, you know, in the West, and you know, you pay taxes here, you don't pay taxes in Ethiopia, you sort of disconnect with like the culture a little bit, and I think there's a lot to learn with reconnecting back with your culture, and also it's just so healing. I think it's so healing.
There's just
back
something
home
about it that as soon as you get off that plane, it's like, I'm home.
Right? You just feel comforted.
Yeah.
And you see your mum in every woman, and I just find it so lovely. And I think we have a lot to give back to our country, but we also have a lot to learn from our country.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think everyone should do it. Definitely.
Did you not tell Isabel like, we need to go?
She definitely wants to go. You want to go
now?
I do, yeah.
Would you do it again?
I definitely would, actually. I really like teaching as well. Also, at one point I might end up living in Ethiopia. I love Devrazate. The nature's beautiful. Like, the geography of Ethiopia I could talk about for days. Like, I might even do like, you know, my master's on it. You know, like, I think the diversity of like the nature in Ethiopia is so beautiful, like the birds, the lakes, and like even like, you know, the volcanic stuff. I think it's just amazing. The mountains, the fresh water, it's so beautiful.
So did you guys used to go regularly to Ethiopia then?
Yeah, I think so. The last time I went to Ethiopia was 2017.
Have you been to like different places in Ethiopia?
We did that massive road trip. Like, it took us weeks. Oh my god!
What's that?
Best trip ever. Actually, I think that's the best memory I had of my childhood was that trip. Right? We went on a road trip around Ethiopia. We went to Bahar Dar, Gondar. We went everywhere. Where else did we go?
Yeah, just most places in the north.
Okay.
I love Awassa.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say as well. Like, if right now you could teleport yourself, where's the place that you'd go?
The Louis Resort. Remember when I made a mistake and I gave one of the monkeys a banana outside we had like a little hut at the Louis Resort, and I gave a monkey a banana, and then I closed the door. There was a horde of monkeys like surrounding our hut, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to get told off for feeding animals because they just like sort of come towards us. That house is so beautiful. Remember we went to that Eskista base?
I do remember that.
Was that in Bahar Dar?
I thought that was in Addis.
Was that in Addis? It was so fun. I think it was somewhere. That was amazing. We were so young and like doing Eskista with everybody, and it was just us. Like it was like a small local place, and there was a bigger, like more commercial place next to it. We went into that, and it was so fun. I had the best time, and I still have memories from that place to this day.
But now they have like Koriftu, where they have the different activities, especially it's good for the youth, like the zip lining, the go-kart.
Yes.
Were you there when
I went to what's the place?
Like up in the hills.
I went there. I didn't go zip lining. I should have gone zip lining, but I didn't. I was too scared. But it's like there's so many activities
for the youth, especially now. There's a lot more to do.
Yeah, Koriftu's great. Yeah, and the park.
There's Friendship Park.
Yeah, that was great. Like they have the water shows and like the animals, and I think it's
a lot more.
A lot more. And like there's like this strip of like food and like cafe places, but it's not like Ethiopian food. Like there's this one noodle place called
Chinole noodles.
I used to go there a lot. And there's this shawarma place called BGS. And me and my cousin went there like every day. And it's really great because there's a lot of youth there. We were just surrounded by loads of Ethiopian youth. It was great.
I think back in the day, like when we went back to Ethiopia, it was mostly just to connect with family, to see your family. But now I think even in Addis alone, there's a lot of things for the youth to get active in.
Definitely. And I think the taxi service, ride. That
makes it accessible. It's
so accessible.
Yeah.
You can just call them on the phone. It's basically Uber, and it's great. Like you could just go anywhere by just calling them, and it's relatively inexpensive.
It's okay. Yeah. It's nice to see that even though you grew up in the UK, you've still kept in touch with your culture, who you are. You're very proud to say that you're like Ethiopian. And do you think like your parents take majority of the credit for that?
Definitely our parents. It's definitely our parents. Especially our dad with all like just showing us the world, showing us Ethiopia. Like he was so adamant about showing us every single side of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, like different people. And our mum really connected us to the culture, like norms and like how people, support other people. I think definitely our parents have been instrumental in shaping our Ethiopian identity.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. Definitely our parents, and also just visiting Ethiopia and just seeing like the culture and like what the people are like and stuff. Usually when it's like Ethiopian New Year or Christmas, like we love to go on like YouTube or like Ethiopian TV channels and like just like look at what they're doing over there. Like celebrating it with them, I guess.
Like through virtually we're celebrating.
With you in spirit.
So has there ever been a time in your life that you thought like, not embarrassed, but you didn't really want to connect or you didn't want to embrace the Ethiopian in you?
I think maybe that time that like before I went to Ethiopia when I started high school, I was just sort of like, my identity was all over the place, like from like different. So I used to have like a really Yorkshire accent, and then when I went to high school, like everyone sounded really posh, and I was like, okay, what do I do here? And it's like also my Ethiopian side, like my identity was all over the place, and so I just didn't know what to do. And I was just sort of like hiding myself. But then after that trip, I just felt proud to be Ethiopian, and it just like reaffirmed that in me.
I'd say for me, similar to what Grace has just said, I think it also depends on the environment. Sometimes, like, for example, at home or when I go to church, I like to embrace my culture and just like embrace the fact that I'm Ethiopian. But especially when I was younger, like going to like a predominantly white primary school and like just being surrounded by white people, I didn't really tend to like disclose my background or like I tend to hide it because like I wouldn't say I felt ashamed because I love the fact that I'm Ethiopian, but I guess just the idea that they wouldn't understand or like they might make comments, unnecessary comments, or I was just scared of being judged really. So, which is sad to like admit, but like that's how I tended to feel.
I think there's a big need for diaspora engagement with Ethiopia, definitely. And I think this is where we can help our country, but also our country can help us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like one of the main reasons for like this podcast as well, because it's like people need to understand who we are, our culture, not just the Ethiopians, but obviously like other ethnic groups as well. Like people need to know who we are and that we have amazing history, amazing culture, and it's not spoken about enough.
Our history is so rich. I'm so proud of Ethiopia. I'm so proud to be Ethiopian, and the history is amazing.
It literally breaks my heart, like when it's like Black History Month, that like Adwa is not celebrated on a massive scale, because that is the biggest of the biggest Black history. Like talking about Black History Month, that's one thing that should just always be celebrated, because what more is there than defeating
the
Western world? It's sad.
It's sad, but
we're getting there.
Yeah, we will get there. We will get there. We've got far to go.
And so I do sociology. I picked it mainly because I did quite well at sociology when I was doing my A-levels, particularly with the course that I'm doing at York. It's just really interesting. I know like it's quite a boring reason, but
no, I did sociology in A-level as well, and I feel like that was my favourite A-level out of the three that I did. I don't
What
want to
A-levels
risk it.
did you do?
So I did chemistry, biology, sociology.
Oh, I love that.
What do you plan to do with it after uni, do you think?
Well, the plan is to do to work in social care.
I'm doing politics and international relations right now, which is weird because I didn't want to do that like a couple of years ago. In fact, like in high school, like I wanted to do medicine.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, and then like all the social injustices of the world was coming to light, and I was like I have a strong sense of justice in me, and I was just like, how can this happen in the world? And also it just sort of showed me like why things were happening in my life, why I was experiencing injustice. And so that led me to do like I chose politics, sociology, and something else, geography or something, for my A-levels. Then I did 1 year of politics, and I was like, I learned about lobbying, which is how like groups give money to the government so the government can influence the policies based on like what these businesses say or something. And I was like, well, how's that democratic? And I was like, I'm not doing politics anymore. I dropped it. But then I did a gap year after my A-levels. And then I was like, well, I want to do geography. I'm really interested in like physical geography, like nature, rocks, especially geology and stuff. I did geography A-level. But then I did my gap year, and I was like, we need someone that cares, we need people that care in politics, not just people who are money hungry or power hungry. So then I ended up doing a politics degree instead, and now I'm doing that. I'm going into my second year.
So if COVID never happened, you would have been a doctor?
Perhaps. Yeah.
Have you moved out completely to York, or do you commute?
I've moved out.
Are you in a student accommodation or
A student house. It's like my 4th time that I've
moved?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I lived in Sheffield for my undergrad, and I stayed in the same accommodation for 4 years.
Really?
Yes.
The same room?
So for the 2 years, I was literally in the same room.
No
and then
way.
the third year, they were like, we're going to have to move you to a different room. But it was literally the same block. And then the 4th year, I moved to a different room, but it was the same block again.
Wait, was it good accommodation?
So it was affordable. And you know what it was with me? We could have done a house share, but I never really met people at university to house share with. I was like, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I know.
So I shared a kitchen. But what was frustrating was usually when it's your first year, you go into an accommodation, but second, third year, you later on move out. Mm-hmm. So I was stuck in this accommodation, and first years would come in. So I'd be with a lot of 18-year-olds every year.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I did it all in the same accommodation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually got a job there. They gave me a job because they're like, you're not moving out, you might as well work in the reception. So I worked in the reception for a bit.
Oh, that's good. It's all right.
I never had the opportunity to move in a house. How was it moving out for you, from home? Was it difficult to manage everything by yourself?
Initially, yeah, I was quite scared.
Okay.
I remember the first day of moving in, just crying all night because I was just so I just felt so alone.
Yeah.
I was like, have I made the right decision? Should I move back to Leeds?
What about for you, Grace? Because obviously you're in London.
I know. It's
you're in the big city.
I know. I never thought I'd end up in London,
Oh, did you not want?
No, I hate cities. Yeah. So it was coming from Leeds, where there's just so much greenery around, and I just love being outside in nature. And then I ended up going to London. I thought it's best for my degree if I go there because there's loads of opportunities in London. So moving in, it was it was a shock because I was literally I live central London.
Wow.
And like my accommodation, like you look outside, it's a building. Like my window, it faces like some weird building. Like there's no windows or anything.
I don't know how you manage it.
I think I'm getting used to it now. Like I'm getting used to the tube, and like I'm still adapting. But I think second year will be really good.
I felt the same as like Isabel. Like when I first went to accommodation, I remember the first night I was like, I can't sleep here. So I went to uni. When I went to uni, my friend from sixth form, we went to the same uni. So she had her accom, and I was like, I'm coming over to yours to sleep because I'm not sleeping in this house by myself. Because bearing in mind, I've never slept away from home. Like I never even did sleepovers. So I was like, how am I meant to sleep in this house by myself? So I slept at hers. I had to like get used to it. And then the other thing I struggled with like what you said, people like to party. People, they have this idea when they come into uni, like, we're going to party, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was just not on it. I was like, not me. Yeah. So like they'd knock on my door and they'd be like, do you want to go out? Do you want to go drink? Do you want to do this? And I'm like, no. Like I was never into that stuff. So it was quite... It felt like, should I be more open to it? Because am I actually holding myself back? And then at the same time, it's like, this is not what I want to do though. So it was just that conflict in your mind. Like, I know what I want to do, but should I just do what they want me to do so that I could fit in? Yeah, so it was just always battling with yourself. Like, what's right? What's wrong? What's right? What's wrong?
Yeah, like doing stuff because you want to fit in, but you don't actually want to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was quite exhausting. I tried to keep up with everyone when I was a fresher. Sort of burnt out towards the end of first term, and I feel like I could have just used that time to like, you know, create like genuine friendships, like bond better with people. So yeah, it's really exhausting, and it's just like not. No.
And I think people glamorize living alone a lot more than it should be glamorized because like you said, like there was times I felt so lonely, but I think like what I want to like portray, like the message I want to say is like when you move into uni and all the influences that the people that influence you, and it's like you don't always have to, you know, tag along and go with the crowd. Sometimes it is fine to just say no, that's not what I want to do. Like it's fine. I think that they're not fully having the uni experience unless they're doing them things, and it's like
the uni experience does not include alcoholism
and drinking and wasting money. That's not
like there's so many things, and I think I'm gonna like society things. Like I've met a couple of friends in society. I'm going to do more of that next year, I think, because it's just chill. You know, you don't have to, you know, do all the crazy things.
Yeah. Have you met other Habeshas at uni?
Yes, actually. There's quite a few Habeshas. Not as many as I thought.
I would have thought it.
You're right. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not finding them. There's a Habesha society, but they haven't had a lot of events that I've been able to go to. But definitely next year. But I've been like finding like people that look Habesha. I'm like, are you Habesha? Can I have your Instagram, please? But yeah, I have one Eritrean friend from Leeds actually that we ended up doing the same course, same accommodation, same floor. And like I hadn't spoken to him forever, and I saw her when we were moving in, and I was like, oh my gosh. And we're literally like, so that was really good. And I've met a couple of Habesha people, which is really good. I was really excited to meet Habesha people.
So they're my people. York, I can only imagine.
I might have seen one or two, but like not in ages.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much for taking the time to come, share with us your experience, your upbringing, your childhood, what you're currently doing. Like it was amazing to hear. And it's so nice to see that you've really connected with your culture, your country, and like big applause to your parents.
Thank you for adapting.
Yeah, especially the dad. It's always the dad. Yeah, thanks to your parents as well, like for raising you this way. Honestly.
Thank you so much for having us. It's so fun.
Thank you so much. So that's the end of today's episode, guys, and we'll be back next week with another episode. So bye for now.